And now, here are your hosts, the Schnitzel Boys.
Anyway, we had a beautiful outing at Galaxy Stadium. We watched the LA Galaxy versus NYCFC. It was a full house. It was a beautiful day. It was a really cool opening day weekend game, I thought. But yeah, lovely. You tell me your thoughts on NYCFC.
Well, it was lovely. The stadium was nice. We were with a bunch of traveling supporters. Actually, there were probably like 200 of maybe not 150 of us.
The whole section was full. It was impressive.
Yeah, there was a lot of traveling support, and atmosphere was great, and we lost the game. I mean,
well, it was a tight.
Long story short, it was a pretty tight affair. Not a ton of really clear-cut chances generated on either ends. Although one has to. I mean, we started out great, and Thales Magno had a header on goal, a pretty open header on goal that looked like it had a chance very early, like 6 minutes in. And but then it was really the Galaxy that had the better chances for most of it, although they were also few and far between. But then as the game went on, it was just, and I guess maybe just sort of in the context of all these CCL teams losing their games, maybe it is just fatigue and early days. And I mean, that is really just seems to be a thing that the teams that are defending, I think the other stat, I mean, all the CCL teams lost. That was stat number one. The other stat that I read today is that of the last 8 MLS Cup champions, only one, Seattle in like 2016, was able to win 2 of their first 5 games.
Yeah, there's a hangover effect, I guess.
So everybody else loses at least 4 out of the first 5, or doesn't win, rather, I should say. Doesn't win 4 out of their first 5. And so it's a thing. And I mean, you're going in with great optimism and hope, and you think we're going to be different, but apparently not. We just got a little tired, and then you sort of felt like you were saying, oh, this has scoreless tie written all over it, and I was like, I'll sign up for that. Actually, I was feeling that this was coming.
I said that, or someone will steal a winner at the end.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what happened. Chicharito at the very. Oh, right, your roommate, is he home?
Yeah, he's sleeping.
He's there. He's resting.
He's home. He's resting. But who else is going to score? If his buddy Carlos Vela scores a hat trick, Chicharito's like, I got to do something. I got to get in the papers somehow.
And it was literally 90th minute, and you kind of Chanot kind of overcommits on the slide tag on, and you were like, even from the other end of the stadium, I was like, this does not look good.
Someone messaged to me that it was Keaton Parks' fault. I don't 100% remember. Did Keaton Parks miss a pass? Because essentially, Chicharito was there, and the ball ended up being blocked and then deflected and rolled through again, and that got him on goal, did a turn and a goal. He kicked the goal. So, like, what was Keaton Parks involved with it at all? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember. I'd have to rewatch it. I've not watched highlights since then, because I got on a plane right after.
Right. And flew the red eye.
And flew I caught the
playoffs.
The red eye. Yeah.
I caught the highlights. I didn't really see much. I'm high on Keaton Parks. I'm hoping he has a good year. And
I mean, it wasn't an awful. It wasn't a terrible performance by NYCFC, but it looked a little tired, and still, the Thales is now really their presumed secondary scorer, and he is still a little raw, and you could see that's a role that he's hopefully going to grow into with time. And Tati Castellanos did not have a good game. My son Max, as you saw, was very upset with him.
Well, he was quiet. I think I remember I asked, I'm like, is Tati Castellanos? You point, like, hey, it's right there, and I'm like, oh yeah, you would have no idea. He had a very Landon Donovan style MLS ghost game.
And then when he got the ball, he was going for like sort of the impossible flip it over the defender, and like, I mean, he was just not, he was then trying to play hero ball when he got it, and that is not that sort of Tati 1.0 and not the kind of striker knipser type that he developed into last season.
Right.
So early days.
And then about a minute after Chicharito, though, NYCFC almost got an equalizer, right? It just rolled past.
Yeah.
That was Aber who did that.
In stoppage time, Aber had an open look, and he got a nice pass from Keaton Parks, I believe. And he just missed the goal. That would have also been fun. It would have been nice. I mean, it's really Haber was out with a terrible knee injury, and he just had a long road back with physical therapy and how these things go, and it's just an emotional thing, and it's just nice to see him back, and it would have been so fun for him to score. Now, the only thing to say about this game, which is I was unaware of at the time, but then as today, all day on Twitter, people were saying how we got robbed, how the referees missed it. And there were a couple of examples given. The most important, I said I would send you this clip. Here it goes. And this is in the 32nd minute, so relatively early in the game. So I just send it to you. So
we were there. I don't remember any of that. I mean, we were there.
Well,
so I'm very curious.
Well, I mean, we were in the visiting supporter section, which usually is not exactly prime real estate. So we were pretty far away from things. But why don't you just describe what you see in this clip?
So, what game is this? What game is this?
This is our game. This is the game we watched.
Oh, I was going to say, because the LA Galaxy look like they're in sky blue uniforms, but it's just a shadow.
Well, I guess
so. Someone in a light blue shirt, the guy with the platinum blonde hair, I'd have to double check who that is, goes behind. Is that Chanot?
That's Chanot, yeah.
Chanot. So this is a corner kick into the box, right? Or a free kick into the box.
Probably a free kick, it looks like, yeah.
For NYCFC. And one of the LA Galaxy players is right behind Chanot and headlocks him, puts his hand around his face and just pulls him back and throws him on the ground like a wrestling move.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
really.
A la what's his face? An SKC goalkeeper last year.
Tamilia, yeah.
A la Tamilia. Yeah, I did not see that. But I did not
either. And so the story here also, actually, on second look, if you sort of look in the foreground, Tavon Gray also kind of takes an elbow to the neck, less obvious perhaps, but also not entirely on the up and up.
Yeah, but you're not going to call that.
So anyway, so then there was there was a little bit of there's more to it than the referee was asked after the game to explain himself, and he said that he called a foul on NYCFC in this situation on Amundsen. So the play was dead when this happened, and then VAR.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, please go. Yeah, if you have it.
In the 32nd minute, the referee penalized a foul by NYCFC player number 12, Amundsen, on LA Galaxy player number 14, Chicharito, at the top of the penalty area. This offense occurred between contact by LAG2, Araujo, and NYCFC for Chanot, which was what we just talked about. So it was Araujo versus Chanot. The contact by Araujo was checked by the VAR, who deemed that the footage was not conclusive enough to consider the non-showing of a red card to be a clear and obvious error, which is something we talked about last week. All that clear and obvious nonsense.
And I was standing up for VAR and saying how it's all properly implicated. I take it all back. That's what bullshit.
Did I say?
That's
See, they
crazy.
leaned on the clear and obvious nonsense. That's where the head referee is any major moment, like a set piece, something, you look at it, check it, and you call the dude. They're right to be sure, the referee could miss it. But then you call the referee to say, go check it. And the reason we need to establish that kind of culture is so players stop trying to get away with crap on the field while the ref
Well, I don't think this has anything to do with clear and obvious, blah, blah, blah. I think this is they just missed it. There's no way you look at this and that's not a red card. He's in his face. He's basically twisting his head around.
It's off the ball. He grabs and throws.
It's off the ball. This is clear as day.
It's at least a yellow. That's at least a yellow.
So this is just. Yeah, so it's just an oversight, just a mistake.
Remember last year, 2 years ago, when Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I think someone stepped on his
Mm-hmm.
foot, and he just slapped his face. He's like, "Get off my foot!"
Sean Johnson, that was Sean Johnson.
What? Are you sure?
Yeah,
I think it was I think Zlatan had a lot of stuff with a lot of people, but I think this was against Montreal, against one of the Montreal defenders.
Okay,
and he
maybe
openly slapped his face.
Maybe we're talking about two different
Yeah.
things, but
I think
there was
Zlatan
definitely
slapped. I think Zlatan slapped multiple players.
Slapped a few people. Yeah.
But that's a red card. That's a very open red card. This isn't as egregious. This is about a half a step or step below that. So I can see it be a red or a yellow. Honestly, that probably would have been like a yellow.
I think hands to the face on purpose is non-negotiable. I thought that is a red card every time.
Welcome to CONCACAF.
I mean, but this is like
if Weston McKennie gets strangled openly in a CONCACAF game and not get even a foul against him.
But that was
that's
not VAR. That was I don't think there was VAR in that game. But anyway, I feel let down by pro referees and its VAR interpretation after I stood up for you last week on this public podcast, said nice things about how well VAR is implemented in MLS, and now you do this to me. I object.
That's what I'm saying. They find too many excuses to not use VAR. You have VAR, it gets used at every major moment, and decisions get made on every proper decisions get made on every.
If you take somebody's head and twist it around, that's a red card.
That's a red card.
Anyway,
you know that old Jeff Foxworthy bit? You might be a redneck. If there's more cars on your lawn that work, you might be a redneck. So we have a new bit. It's called if you
put the hand on the defender,
grab someone's face
and his head is now turning a different way.
Turn around. That might be a red card. That might be a red card.
All right.
Yeah, so that's our new bit, the Jeff Foxworthy. That might be a red card. But with that being said, though, you're not allowed to sit there and harp on that and be like, that would have changed.
Oh, I'm
game.
harping on it. Yeah, red card in the 32nd.
Yeah, then Tati would have missed the penalty, and then they would have gone on. I don't know. But also, there's going to be bad calls. It's MLS. There's going to be bad calls.
No, I know. I mean, I'm kind of talking myself into it now. But like at the time, obviously, we didn't even see this. Chanot,
no, I didn't see it.
We saw Chanot complaining about something, but he is a complainer. We got to be honest. So he probably doesn't have a ton of credibility.
It's the Schnitzel boys, it's the Schnitzel